Friday, everyone. I'm glad you could be here with me today. Okay, we are going to have some fun today. I am really looking forward to this, but we need to get busy and get this going right away. So, we are making marshmallows today. Yes, I know we're doing keto, and yes, I know we can't have sugar, but that does not mean that we can't have marshmallows. If we can have lemon loaf, and I want to show you, now I did not get the pictures of the lemon loaf posted, but there is some left. And so I thought I would maybe just show you how beautifully it turned out, but it doesn't really go with marshmallows. So when you make marshmallows and you want them to be keto, there are a couple of things that you need to do. The first one is you need to make sure that you have half an hour that you can spend doing this, because it's going to take you that long, and you have to be able to focus on this for a full half hour. I promise. Okay, so now that we have our half hour all carved out, first thing I'm going to do is put 2/3 of a cup. I'm going to put half a cup, 125 milliliters of water, into my mixing bowl. Get this out of here for a minute. Take this off, and that'll make it a little easier. Oh my goodness. It is just going to be stubborn now. What the heck is going on here? There we go. Somehow I got something a little bit sticky on here. Well, you know what? We just are not going to worry about this right now, because we can just do it with the bowl on the mixer. And I will figure the other out later. Now, let me make sure that you can see what we're doing here. Now, you'll see that I have some big fluffy towels there. That's because I'm going to make this as little bit as I can noise. That was really bad grammar, but okay. Now, I'm sprinkling into 125 milliliters of water. I'm sprinkling 30 grams of gelatin. Now, if you're using packages, that would be 3 packages of gelatin powder. And then I'm just going to mix it in with a fork. And we're going to leave this for 10 minutes and let it bloom. Okay, we'll get this all mixed in here. And there, we have our bloomin' jello going on. Okay, so while that is happening, we are going to scoot over here. Okay, now we are done with those. We're going to scoot over here and do a couple of other things, but the first thing that needs to happen is my coffee cup needs to be filled up.
Toasted marshmallow.
That is a very good idea. Now, I just had a wonderful idea. Well, since we're doing marshmallows today, why don't I put toasted marshmallow in there? Because that's a thing. We can do that. So, a hot, fresh cup of coffee. Now, you know what? Whether you are talking about s'mores in the summertime or hot cocoa in the winter, having a marshmallow to put in it is special. It just makes it better, in my opinion. And since this is my kitchen, I guess, I get to make the rules. So, now the next thing that we are going to do, while that jello is sitting there blooming, is we are going to start melting down our xylitol. Now, let me get you over here. Okay. Let's see if we can't move this burner a little bit so that you can have a little better view of what's going on. There we go. That's better. Okay, so always keep your pot handle out of the way. I don't know why, but that seems to be one of the hardest things to teach children, is to keep the pot handle turned in where nobody's going to catch their clothes on it. So I've just added 210 grams of water, or 210 grams of xylitol. Now, usually when we get together, we use erythritol. And today we are using xylitol, and there is a very good reason for that. Now let's get these out of the road. We're using xylitol today because for marshmallows, erythritol really doesn't work. It doesn't hold up as well, and it also crystallizes. And we don't want crunchy crystals in our marshmallows. We want them to be big and fluffy and soft and yummy. And so we are using xylitol today. And xylitol is very similar to erythritol because it has no effect on your blood sugar. Very, very low in calories. Not that we're counting calories, but it has no effect on your blood sugar. So we're going to turn this on a medium heat. We're going to bring it to a boil, wait for the allulose to be completely melted. And when that happens, we are going to start our mixer mixing. So, oh, pardon me. Swallowed my coffee too fast. Good morning, Dell. Now, if you're here with me today and you want to hang out and make marshmallows with me, say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I love it when people let me know where they are and who they are and that they're here hanging out with me. Good morning, Evelyn. So, marshmallows. Now, there is one tricky thing about these marshmallows. If you're wanting to roast them over an open fire, I'm going to say that probably is not going to work out so well. Now, I've got to tell you guys, I got to share something with you. I had a very special lady tell me the other day that she puts Da Vinci cherry syrup in her coffee, and she told me that she had a bottle of cherry, and I said, but you don't put that in your coffee. And she said, oh, I do. And so I thought, well, I don't really know how that would work, but you know what? I'm nothing if not adventurous, at least in the kitchen. So not necessarily in other places, but in the kitchen I am, and I put cherry syrup in my coffee this morning, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. So if you have a bottle of cherry syrup and you've been saving it to use, in fruity things in your keto kitchen, don't be shy to put it in your coffee, because I promise you, you won't be sorry. You also won't be sorry if you have toasted marshmallow. Now, you can see already that this xylitol is starting to melt. It really doesn't take very long. It's going to get up to about 210 degrees-ish. That's Fahrenheit, so getting pretty close to 100 degrees Celsius, 98 to 100. And once this is totally melted, now here's where we really have to be on the ball. We're going to take the melted xylitol, we're going to put it in the mixer, and we are going to turn the mixer on, well, eventually it's going to be on high, and we're going to let it go for 15 minutes. So you get to listen to my mixer go, which is why the big fluffy towels are here to kind of dampen down the noise, because we've got other things to talk about. Okay, the xylitol is already starting to boil. So that's how long that takes. It melts very quickly. We're just going to let this boil get a little bit more rapid. It's important that you have the heat in this, because that really is what is going to work with the gelatin to make this into a marshmallow. Now check in our bowl. You can see that our gelatin is blooming, and this is getting to a full boil. Now I'm going to put my mixer stand up, and I'm going to turn this on just a little bit. Get this gelatin kind of mixing up here a bit. You need to use your whisk attachment, and then don't let this hit the side of the bowl. I've got the xylitol. You want to be pouring it through the whisk attachment. Get as much of that in there as we can. Okay, put this out of the way. Now that doesn't look like much right now, I know, but trust me when I tell you, it's going to look like more in a bit. Now, we do need to get this, mixer turned up. Okay, you want it on high. Now, if you don't have a stand mixer at home, but you do have just a hand mixer, that's absolutely fine. Now, we're going to turn this back over here. Get this out of the way a little bit, because the next thing we need to do, and I gotta tell you, I cheated on this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I was running out of tin foil and I ripped it a couple of times. So you need an 8x8, 9x9 square cake pan, and line it with tin foil. Usually we use parchment paper, but today it's important that we use tin foil. And go around the edges and push it in so everything is as flat as it can possibly be. We don't want to be trying to pry the marshmallow out of the wrinkles in the tin foil. So take your time with this. We have 15 minutes while this is going. Okay. Alexa, start a 7-minute timer. Now at the 7-minute mark.
Starting now.
So we have that going. At the 7-minute mark, we are going to add the salt. Okay, and I have do not disturb on. You would think that that would mean it would stop whistling, but apparently not. Okay, at the 7-minute or at the 8-minute mark, but we were about a minute in, we're going to add salt to the mixer. Don't do it before. You have to wait until the 7-minute mark. There's nothing difficult about this. I'm going to set this up here. There's nothing difficult about making marshmallows, but it is about watching your timing. So there are a few times that you need. Bloom your gelatin for 10 minutes. That's first. Secondly, at the 8-minute mark, once it's mixing, add your salt and just sprinkle it in. Do it slowly. At the 12-minute mark, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now, I'm going to play with this recipe a little bit because it seems to me that toasted marshmallow syrup is going to be amazing in here too. But for today, we're going to do vanilla. And then at the 15-minute mark, we're done. We're good to pour it in our pan. Now, once you get you can see I have my salt and vanilla here. Once you get the pan lined with tin foil, you want to make sure it is well greased with coconut oil. This time, you could use avocado oil, I suppose, but the coconut oil, it's going to melt in your hands while you're greasing the pan, and then it's going to firm up a little bit. So it's going to stick to the sides better. If you use avocado oil, it's going to run down, and olive oil, I don't think I would want that flavor in my marshmallows, but that's just me. Now we're going to turn this up a bit more. I'll let you see what's going on here. You can see that it is already getting to be a little bit marshmallowy. So we'll keep an eye on that while we're working on this. Okay, so I told you why we are using xylitol this time instead of erythritol. In a lot of your baking, you can use erythritol, and in this one, I don't know whether you noticed or not, but the xylitol that I used, that I poured in the pot, wasn't powdered, because it doesn't need to be. We're melting it down, and it doesn't crystallize as it cools, so it is absolutely fine to use the crystallized xylitol. Xylitol is coming down in price. And it's coming down now, in my opinion, because there is a new product out there called allulose. And I'm really excited to try it, but it is not approved in Canada yet. I don't know why, but it isn't. It is not mine to figure out why the government does or doesn't do what the government does or doesn't do. Okay. So now we have our 8x8 pan lined with tin foil, and we have greased it with coconut oil, and really the only thing that we have left to do is add our salt and add our vanilla. So let's see what's going on here, and we're going to turn this on high. Okay, that is on high. Now, one of the other things that having the towel does, other than just keep the sound down, is it also keeps the heat in there, so that heat that's activating everything. Now you'll see, if you look here, you can see that the cabinet that I have it sitting on is wobbling a little bit. So that mixer is just going crazy. And that is my cart that I keep whatever I'm using for the day on. So you just need to turn it on. If you don't have, well, I know, that is a good point, Del. I'm sure they'll listen to me. I'll get right on that. Okay, so if you don't have a stand mixer, use your hand mixer. It's going to work the same way. Your arm might get a little bit tired, so if you have a stand to put that hand mixer on, that would be good too. But until then, we will just do it in my kitchen today. Don't be shy to try this. I mean, we're standing here having coffee. Now, I want to talk to you about an article that I read about keto. And there are articles like this all over the internet. And I think it's important that we talk about these things that are being put out there that have our family members question whether or not we are doing something that is safe and effective. And a little bit more. There we go. Okay. This article was saying that the research that has been done says that keto is only safe to do for 2 years. And after 2 years, it's not safe anymore because it can cause gout and it can cause kidney stones and it can cause whatever else they were saying that it can cause. That is absolutely not true. There is no research anywhere that says that keto will cause kidney stones or gout. As a matter of fact, keto has been shown to be a very effective way to combat gout and kidney stones if you do it right. If you are eating things that have a lot of calcium, so you're eating a lot of cheese, a lot of whipping cream, you're taking a calcium supplement, that can definitely cause some trouble with kidney stones. Gout is about the urea content in your system. That's far more likely to be higher and higher if you're eating a lot of things like shellfish or large amounts of carbohydrates. So it's important to know if you've had problems with gout or with kidney stones, and I have had kidney stones not once but twice. And trust me when I tell you, it is not something that I want to do again. So it is something that I make a point of trying to avoid. And I avoid, not all the time, but I don't eat shellfish every single day. I don't eat, now, it's time to add our salt. Alexa, stop. Alexa, start a 4-minute timer. Now we're going to add
4 minutes, starting now.
Oh, look at what is happening in this bowl. I am going to show you. You guys are going to love this. You see what's happening here? Okay, now we're just going to sprinkle this salt in. Now that is a 1/4 teaspoon of Redmond's real salt. Don't use more. We don't need salt to marshmallow. So a 1/4 teaspoon is all we need. And then, look at how beautiful that is. Seriously, that is just absolutely marvelous. Okay, so we are going to let that continue to marshmallow. There, we turn the sound down on the mixer. When you read an article that is talking about the safety of keto, or the dangers of keto, please do your research. There are companies out there that have a vested interest in scaring us. when you go and look at a study that was done about how dangerous keto is, and that study was sponsored by the Cheerios company or a sugar company, they don't want us doing keto. If it was sponsored by a pharmaceutical company, they don't want us doing it either. Now, I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but the reality is, if a company is going to pay millions of dollars to have a study done, they're doing that because they're trying to prove something that will be beneficial to them. They're not doing it just for the fun of doing it. So do your own research. I would love to tell you that I am the absolute expert and I know everything that there is to know scientifically about keto. That is totally not true. So I continue to do my research. I continue to read studies. I continue to learn as much as I can so that I can share it with you and hopefully help you get healthier. So it's important that you do your own research. And that's true if you are going to your doctor to talk about what you're doing for your health and why keto is a good choice and whether or not they should be de-prescribing. There's information out there for doctors to help them with that. So these are things that you can do that are going to help you on your keto journey and help relieve any fear that might be creeping in there. So keep on ketoing and don't be worrying about a lot of the people out there who say it's going to damage our kidneys or our liver, or that is not true. It does, however, help us rebuild our liver so that it is stronger and healthier. You know, the liver is the only organ in the body that can completely regenerate itself. That's pretty exciting when you think about it. Okay, now we have 41 seconds left, and then we are going to be adding our 10 milliliters or 2 teaspoons of vanilla. So, I think we're just going to jump the gun a little bit here. I just put it in 30 seconds early. Oh, look at this. You guys, you gotta see this. Check this out. That is beautiful. And we are just going to add our vanilla in here. And that is done now. Alexa, stop. Alexa, set a 3-minute timer.
3 minutes, starting now.
Run this around the edge of the bowl. Make sure that all this marshmallow gumminess gets down in there. Okay. Am I going to try this? Yeah. You can bet I'm going to try this. We are doing a fine job, people. Okay. Now let's get these spoons out of our way because we are almost ready to put this in the pan. Now, you've got to know when this is done and you're putting it in your pan, you need to work quickly because it's got a gelatin in it and it's not got a lot of water in it, and we're doing that on purpose. So you need to work quickly before it starts setting up. And don't worry about the extra bits that are going to be left in your whisk because that's going to set up quickly, and you can whisk the beaters later if you like. Okay, now where are we on our timer? We have 1 minute and 43 seconds left, so we are almost there. Now, the hardest part about making the marshmallows is when you're done, they have to sit for a minimum of 6 hours. So, making them at 11 o'clock because you want them for lunchtime is probably not going to work out so well for you. And don't put them in the fridge, don't cover them, unless you're covering them, with a screen, a piece of cheesecloth if you need to. But they need to be sitting out in the open air to cure for a minimum of 6 hours. And so we are not going to be, well, except for the taste test I just did. Where are we on our time? We have 1 minute left and we get to put this in the pan. So, taste test off the beater, absolutely. There's no raw egg or raw anything in here. So you can eat it as soon as you like. And we are just almost there. Can you guys see how beautiful that is? Honestly, this is just awesome. I get very excited about stuff like this. You take a little bit of water and a little bit of gelatin and a little bit of sweetener and you whip it up and it turns into this magical bowl of snowy fluff that is just going to make all of us happy. Okay, so where are we? 15 seconds? Can we start turning it down now? Maybe. Okay. Now, as soon as I turn this off, we have to work fast. Okay, let's get this out of here. And you see the sound just went up? Alexa, stop. Okay. Help if I took this down first. Let's get this off of here. Okay, now we're just gonna there. Now we have as much off of here as we're gonna get, I think. And I'll show you how quickly this sets up. We're just gonna set this aside for a minute. Okay. It's a marshmallow world in the winter and in the summer. And when you're doing keto, no matter what they say. Okay, now we are going to take this marshmallow fluff, which is what it is right now, and we are very quickly going to scrape it into our greased tinfoil lined pan. Oh, can you guys see this going in here? Look at how amazing that is. Look at what we've done. Okay, now if you want to create magic like this in your kitchen, you can do it very easily. Now we're going to squish this down into the pan, and we have to work fast on this because this is going to start setting up really quickly. And once it is set up in the pan, you can make as many or as few of these as you want. And I did a pan last night because I knew you guys would want to have a taste while we were together today. Okay. This goes away. And we will scrape this off because we don't want to lose any of our marshmallow. And then I'm going to show you what they look like when they're finished. We did good. We did good. We did good. Okay, now this is our pan of marshmallows that we have just made. So we're going to set this aside because it's not going to be ready until later tonight. But because I love you guys, and I wanted you to be able to enjoy this with me. Now I just need to find my parchment paper. These are going to be sticky, and so dusting them with a little bit of erythritol is a good idea. So we're just going to pull this out of the pan. Now you can see this is holding its shape quite well. And we'll get this out of our way. Now we're just going to start taking this off of here. The tinfoil tears very easily, and you can see that because it was greased well, it's coming off nicely. Okay. Oh, look at this, guys. Okay, well, apparently I missed a spot, but that's okay. So we're tearing this off of here, and look at this. We are at the 30-minute mark, and when you touch it, it's a little bit sticky. So I'm gonna grab my small sifter. Well, it's not a sifter, my screen, and I'm gonna to flip this out. Just add a little bit of powdered erythritol from right here. And you don't need a lot, just a wee little bit, because all we're doing is we're just getting the sticky off of it. So just a wee little sprinkle. Okay, and then that's enough to do the other side too, so we'll just set that here and put this away. My Amson Naturals powdered erythritol. I'm going to throw a lot of that in my kitchen. We use it in whipped cream and we use it all over the place. Okay, now that we have this all powdered, we're just going to take it the rest of the way out. Now, this next step is an important one. Now, firstly, you can see that I really did do a good job greasing that pan, because there was a couple of little chunks of coconut flour come out. But coconut oil. So you're greasing it with coconut oil. Oh, Sandra, is it easier to hear now that I have this blasted mixer turned off? I'm hoping so. Okay, now I'm going to take a knife and I'm just going to put this little bit of coconut oil without touching the blade. I don't need to cut myself. It is important to have the knife greased because otherwise it's going to stick to the marshmallows. And now we are just going to cut this like this. And there's a little bit more coconut oil. There we go, a little bit more on the knife. Awesome. And so when you get your marshmallows all done, and they have sat for 14 hours, I guess. And this is what you get. This beautiful, yummy, fluffy bit of goodness. Now you can cut this into as big or small pieces as you like. But one thing, what is going on here? There. Finally, there we go. Okay, so here is my marshmallow. Your marshmallow, if you choose to make this. So I'm sorry that you had to listen so hard today. I know that mixer is noisy. That is a necessary evil in making the marshmallows. And I would not try this in the microwave. Have you guys ever taken an ordinary marshmallow and put it in the microwave? It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't know what'll happen to this one. Maybe we'll have to do a bit of an experiment. But right now, the experiment that we're going to do is this way. Not going to be roasting these over an open fire and getting them all brown and beautiful. But what you can do is put them over the fire for a minute and just let them start to get ooey gooey and then put them in your s'mores. You don't want the kids doing this though, because they are going to melt and plop off into the fire and then everybody's going to be sad. But do this at home. Whether you're doing it for your s'mores or your hot chocolate, nobody's going to be disappointed in these. And guess how many grams of carbs are in this? Just guess. Go ahead. I dare you. 0 grams of net carbs, kids. 0. That's my favorite number when it comes to carbs. So I hope that you will all do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. That's what we're going to go and do. I think it might involve some more marshmallows, and I hope your world involves marshmallows too. So keep ketoing on and don't listen to the people that tell you that you're doing something to harm your health. You are absolutely doing the very best thing for your health that you can do. And if you're not feeling it yet from doing keto, you will. Okay, have an awesome Friday. I will see you here 10 a.m. Sunday morning, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. Every week we get together and do something fun. So have a great weekend, and I will see you